How does the average Japanese home stay comfortable in the garden all summer, sitting outside at dusk with the doors open, without a single can of spray, without a citronella candle, and without one of those blue glowing bug zappers crackling in the corner? The answer is not a product you can buy. It is a way of thinking practiced in Japan for hundreds of years, and it works just as well on a back porch in Texas as it does in a garden in Kyoto. In Japan, there is a simple idea called teire, which gets translated as maintenance, but really means putting your hands in and tending. You do a little something every day so nothing ever becomes a crisis. Apply that to mosquitoes, and the whole problem turns inside out. Because a mosquito is not really an air creature at all. For most of its life, it is a water creature. The Japanese gardener has long understood that you do not fight the mosquito in the air. You deny it the water it needs to ever get into the air in the first place. If you are watching this, you almost certainly have mosquitoes breeding in your yard right now, so we will split this into two parts. First, how to clear out what is already breeding, using nothing but a few things you already own. Then, how to set the place up so they never come back. Before we go on, tell me in the comments what you have been using to keep the mosquitoes down. The spray, the candles, one of the zappers, and be honest, is it working? And if you're loving it so far, join the family by hitting subscribe, because tomorrow we've got something special lined up just for you. The first job is not to buy anything. It is to walk your yard slowly and look for standing water, because that is the game. Only the females bite, because she needs the protein in your blood to make her eggs, and she does not lay them in the grass. She lays them in water, and she does not need a pond, just about as much as fits in a bottle cap. The wrigglers that hatch out, the Japanese call them bufura, live in that water for a week or so until they fly off as the adults that come looking for you at dinner. Here is the number that matters. From egg to flying adult takes roughly 7 to 10 days in warm weather, faster in a heat wave. That single fact is the key to everything that follows. Now walk the yard. The obvious water is easy. The bird bath, the kiddie pool, the bucket left in the rain. It is the hidden water that keeps people up scratching. The saucer under a flower pot, the clogged gutter along your roof, the old tire, the watering can, the dog's bowl. A single saucer the size of a teacup can hatch hundreds of mosquitoes in a fortnight. Most people are not bitten by mosquitoes from the woods. They are bitten by mosquitoes born 10 feet from their own back door. So tip all of it out, onto the ground where it soaks away and the wrigglers dry out and die. Here is the part the quick videos skip. With the container breeders, tipping the water out once is not enough. The female lays her eggs just above the waterline on the inside wall, and they can sit bone dry for months and still hatch when the next rain refills the pot. So for anything that holds water often, scrub the inside when you empty it. You are not just pouring out water, you are wiping out the next generation she glued to the side. For water you cannot tip out, you have two options. In a bird bath you want to keep. A drop of plain dish soap breaks the surface tension, and since the wrigglers hang from that surface to breathe, they drown. For a rain barrel, a pond, or a boggy spot that never dries, there is a natural larvicide sold as little floating dunks. They hold a soil bacterium that only mosquito and gnat larvae can digest, harmless to fish, pets, and people. One dunk lasts about a month. Now, a word about the 3 things you have probably already spent money on. Start with the bug zapper, the blue light that crackles on the patio. It feels like it is doing something. It is doing almost nothing, because mosquitoes do not hunt by light. They hunt by the carbon dioxide you breathe out, your body heat, your smell. The blue light pulls in moths and beetles by the hundred, while the mosquitoes ignore it and carry on biting you. You have built a machine that slaughters the fireflies and spares the one bug everyone wanted gone. I owned one for 2 summers, sat under it listening to it execute a moth every 30 seconds, slapping my own arms the whole time. I gave it away last year and have not missed it once. Then the Citronella candle. It does mildly repel mosquitoes, but the protected zone in dead still air is roughly the size of the chair you are sitting in, and a breeze erases even that. For a whole yard, decoration that smells nice. And the foggers and barrier sprays kill the adults on the day, but they also kill the bees and butterflies the cloud drifts over, and the effect wears off as fresh mosquitoes hatch from the water you never drained. So you spray again and poison the pollinators again, never once touching the source. The gadgets and phone apps that claim to repel mosquitoes with sound do not work either. Save your money. If this is already making you glance at spots in your own yard, tap subscribe. This whole channel is about exactly these quiet, old-fashioned methods that hold up. Now we get to the part that actually earns the word Japanese, and the part that turns this from a nightly fight into a permanent solution. Killing the mosquito you can see is reactive. Making sure it was never born is the real win. Walk through any traditional Japanese garden and notice what the water is doing. It is almost never sitting still. There is the shishi odoshi, the bamboo pipe that slowly fills, tips, clacks against a stone, and empties, over and over. The Japanese garden loves the movement of water, and it turns out moving water is water a mosquito cannot use. The female will not lay in it, and the wrigglers cannot cling to a surface that will not hold still. So the lesson for your own yard is simple. If you want a water feature, keep it moving with a small pump or a solar fountain. If you have a bird bath you love, fix a cheap solar bubbler in it or change the water completely twice a week, well inside that 7-day window, so nothing ever has time to hatch. There is a second piece of the Japanese practice that people find charming the first time they hear it, and it works beautifully. For generations, Japanese households have kept small fish called medaka, a hardy little rice fish, in a ceramic jar or a water basin out in the garden. They keep them partly because they are lovely to watch, and partly because medaka eat bufura. A few small fish in a tub of water will clear every mosquito larva out of it and keep it clear all summer. If you have an ornamental pond, a handful of fish does the same job for free, forever. A pond with fish in it does not breed mosquitoes. A pond without them is a mosquito factory. And for the water you cannot drain, cannot move, and cannot stock with fish, that is where the floating dunks come in. Drop one in the rain barrel, the boggy corner, the ditch that holds water for days after a storm. The bacterium does its quiet work on the larvae and harms nothing else. Replace it once a month through the season, and that source is simply switched off. There is a timing wisdom here too, and most people have it backwards. Mosquitoes bite hardest at dawn and at dusk, which is exactly when you notice them, and exactly the wrong time to do anything about them. The real work happens in the daylight, when you walk the yard and tip out the water. Tie it to something you already do, like the day you take the bins out, and do it on the same day every week, because that rhythm is what stays inside the 7 to 10 day breeding cycle and breaks it before a single new mosquito can fly. And the best moment to walk the yard is the morning after rain, when every saucer and fold and gutter has just refilled. Bite at dusk, breed in the week, so you tend in the daylight. A word for the yard, where you have done all of this and you are still getting eaten alive. If you have emptied every container, scrubbed every saucer, put fish in the pond and dunks in the barrel, and the mosquitoes keep coming, then there is water you have not found yet, and it is almost always in one of 3 places. The gutter on your own roof, clogged with leaves and holding a long thin pond you cannot see from the ground. The corrugated drain pipe that holds water in its ridges for days, or over the fence, in a neighbor's forgotten bucket or tarp or unused pool, close enough that the mosquitoes born there come straight to your patio, because these container mosquitoes do not travel far. So clear your gutters, flush the bad drain, and if it is the neighbor, the honest answer is to walk over, be friendly about it, and offer them a couple of the dunks. You cannot win this one alone if the water next door is wide open. Let us talk cost, because the gap here is almost funny. Walking your yard and tipping out water costs nothing. The dish soap, you already own. A bag of dunks runs about $10 to $15 and lasts the season. A few pond fish are a couple of dollars and live for years. A small solar fountain is $20 or $30 once. Now set that against the other path. A propane mosquito trap is $300 to $500 up front and then drinks propane all summer. A barrier spray service is $70 to $100 a visit every few weeks from spring to fall, which is several $100s a year every year, to keep poisoning the pollinators and missing the source. The Zapper was $30 to $100 to never solve it. I added up one evening what I had spent over the years on traps and sprays and bulbs, then added up the Japanese way, and the difference was not close. The expensive path was the reason the mosquitoes kept coming back. And then there is the part that does not show up on a receipt. You can sit on your own patio at dusk, which is the entire point of having a patio, without slapping your arms raw. You can let the kids run around the yard in the evening without coating them in spray every night. You can let the dog out after dark, and the vegetable garden never gets a chemical cloud over the tomatoes. And the fireflies, the bees, the moths, all the nightlife a zapper would have fried and a fogger would have poisoned, they all carry on. You get your evenings back, and the garden stays alive around you. So here is a plan you can start this week. The next dry afternoon, walk your whole yard slowly and tip out every bit of standing water you find, scrubbing the inside of anything that holds water often. Clear the gutters while you are at it. Set any bird bath moving or put a drop of dish soap in it. Drop a dunk in the rain barrel and the boggy corner and get a few fish into the pond. From that day on, the routine is small and steady. Once a week, on the same day, take 5 minutes to walk the yard and empty anything that has filled back up, paying special attention the morning after rain. Once a month through the season, replace the dunks. That is the whole program. No spraying, no candles, no blue light crackling on the porch, no fogging the garden, no bug spray on the children every night. The deeper lesson here was never really about mosquitoes. It is about a way of seeing your own yard, the way the Japanese gardener sees it. You prevent rather than fight. You tend rather than rescue. The mosquito whining past your ear tonight is the very last stage of a story that was written a week ago in a saucer of rainwater you walked past without looking. Kill it in the air, and another one is already hatching behind it. Pour out the water, and the whole next generation never arrives. The Western instinct is to wait until the swarm is unbearable and then attack the air with the strongest spray on the shelf. The Japanese instinct is to make sure the swarm can never form, with a quiet 5-minute habit and a yard where the water is never allowed to sit. Once you see it that way, you cannot unsee it. Your evenings outside do not have to be a battle. Your yard is not a problem you fog into submission every July. It is a place you tend, gently and often, so that the mosquitoes never get their start. Let me know in the comments where the hidden water turned out to be in your yard. I would put money on the gutter. That's our story. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. And next day, more stories are waiting for you. Thanks for watching.